We all know that Naruto grew up without his parents. You see, Minato and Kushina died the day Naruto was born.
Yes, very sad. Anyway.
And even though Kushina asked the third Hokage to take good care of Naruto, he still grew up alone and with the entire village hating him. Good job, Hiruzen. To be fair, he did provide a place for him to live and some money, so it wasn't all bad. But there was someone else who could very well have raised Naruto. Jiraiya. Not only was he Minato's sensei, but he was also Naruto's godfather. And the job of a godfather is to take care of the child if something happens to the parents. However, Jiraiya only shows up for the first time when Naruto was already 12. A little late if you ask me. It's obvious that Naruto had to grow up alone for the story Kishimoto wanted to tell to work. But in this video, I would like to explore some in-universe explanations and not just stay with the obvious, well, it had to be that way for the story to work explanation, because exploring the reasons behind Jiraiya's decision not to return are more interesting than that. The weirdest thing about Jiraiya not sticking around with Naruto was that in the second Great Ninja War, he stood behind in the Rain Village for about 3 years just to train 3 random kids he saw one day in the war zone. You know, he pitied them and, well, let's give you some training and I'll give you a chance to be better in life. Later on, he didn't check on Minato's son even once until he was 12? Why, Jiraiya? I don't really get that. Maybe you didn't have to see Naruto all the time. Maybe you didn't have enough time for that, but once in a while would be good, you know? It's nice to grow up with a father figure. I guess he was too busy with his research. Sure, you can argue that Jiraiya likes to move around and not stay in the same place. After all, he was traveling a lot when he was younger, and still was after he got older, you know, just researching and writing his books. But still, he could have done more for Naruto. You could also argue that Jiraiya was investigating the Akatsuki, but they were barely worth noting when Naruto was a baby. So Jiraiya was definitely not doing that. Nagato was still in the phase where the Akatsuki was an organization from the Rain Village, not an organization of criminals that was supposed to hunt down the Jinchuriki. So they weren't a threat. And, well, Jiraiya definitely knew Naruto existed because he saw Kushina pregnant. Also, we just have to assume that Hiruzen told Jiraiya about what happened in Konoha when Minato and Kushina died and the Kyuubi got loose not long after it happened. After all, Jiraiya is one of the most important ninjas in Konoha at the time. My theory is that Jiraiya was too ashamed to go back to Konoha and take care of Naruto. You see, Jiraiya has this thing about him being a failure. He blames himself a lot for bad things that happened to him and people around him, and Minato and Kushina dying would be no different. He probably didn't have the courage to face Naruto and tell him he wasn't there for his dad when he needed him. He only returned when Naruto was already 12 because by that time the Akatsuki was already very powerful and dangerous, so Naruto's life was in jeopardy, saying that he is in Jinchuriki. Jiraiya returns because he wants to protect Naruto. If he didn't return, then he would be even more ashamed of what he's done because now Minato's son would be in danger. Bear in mind that this is my headcanon, my theory, but I think it's an interesting explanation that delves deep into Jiraiya's psychology, and I would have liked to see that developed in the manga. A particular scene that would be very cool exploring this concept could be one where Jiraiya admits to Naruto that he didn't come back for him because he was ashamed and scared of failure. He just didn't want to face Naruto and tell him the truth. He then asks Naruto for forgiveness, and Naruto obviously forgives him because he's just a very nice guy, and well, if he can forgive Obito, I guess he can forgive Jiraiya as well. Then they both hug, and Jiraiya promises Naruto he will be a better father figure in the future, and once this Akatsuki issue is sorted out, they will be a proper family. And this happens just before Jiraiya goes to the Rain Village to fight Pain, and we all know how that ended. Adding that detail would make Jiraiya's death even more impactful and tragic, which is always good for a story if you ask me. But I want to know why you think Jiraiya didn't come back from Naruto earlier. What are your thoughts and theories? Comment down below. Also, consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video. Watch this video right here if you want to find out how Jiraiya would do in a fight against Itachi. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.